with Kandia Haynesworth Designs, and I am in the official classroom for the Sew It and Show workshops. So on Facebook, I host a group called Embroidery Boss with over 8,400 members, and I challenge them to take a picture of or a video of their workspace. Now, what you're looking at is not my workspace. This is the classroom portion of my studio, and this is where I host the Sew It and Show workshop. So the students sit there, and then there's the trimming station, and then there's where the sewing machines are kept, and pretty much everything is pretty much organized. On the other side of this room, I run an embroidery business. So here's what it looks like. So for the most part, on the other side of the room, you have my embroidery machine, and you have the components that I need to run my gift basket business. And pretty much this is what it looks like for the most part, unless I am building something. I like to keep everything neat and clean and organized. Here's my table where I utilize for the Sew It and Show workshops or my embroidery business, and it's about a 80 or 90 foot table. 90, I'm sorry, not foot, inches. So it's about, I'm not even sure, but it might be either 84, 86, or 90 inches long. I know we had cut it down, but for the most part, I like to keep this clear and organized as well. And for the most part, everything has a home here in my studio. So when it came down to doing this challenge, you would think that it would be easy for me. However, last week I was put in the position where I had to make a decision. So I once lived in a 7-bedroom house. We downsized, meaning we knocked the wall down and made my house 6 bedrooms. And I occupied the basement for my studio, and I also occupied 2 of the 6 bedrooms. One is solely dedicated to the embroidery inventory that I have, and the other was dedicated to an office for me to process orders and so forth, and my craft room. Well, I lost my dad July 2015, and I want my mom down here much more often than she had been coming down, because my dad was sick for some time. And I want to make a dedicated space to her, which means that I had to take everything out of that room and fit it into this room that's already packed. So I challenged the Embroidery Boss members on Facebook to show what their computer desks look like. Now that's easy for me because, once again, that's always orderly. So I don't mind showing you that. My computer desk looks like this. This is a TV armoire that I actually bought at the Goodwill, and it was $120, and I actually went there on a fabulous day because it was 50% off. So initially I wanted to make this armoire a sewing machine space for my living room, so I could have this in the corner of my living room. But once we got it here, it just wasn't going to work out. It was just too big, and it just was not going to work out, but I was stuck with it. So I decided to make it a computer workstation, and it works out. It works out, if you can see. Let me just open it a little bit so you can see exactly how I pretty much have it here. So this is what it pretty much looks like all of the time, because I do what I have to do and then I leave. I don't even know if you can see. Let me get a better lighting on that. So up here I just have like a bungee cord running across. I have some storage baskets there where I keep shipping labels and stuff. And then here I have extra inventory that I can sell to my students, needles pretty much. And then there's my journal that I pretty much plan my lesson plans and so forth. And then this is extra stuff that they can buy, and I just have it hanging up there with safety pins, so it's nothing fancy. And then there I have some ruffler foots that they can buy as well. And then there are my pencils. And then when orders come in, I pretty much write them on the slip there. And then here is some promotional flyers. And then here, this is actually a monitor riser. What I do is sometimes I have my laptop here. That's why this cord is sticking out, because this can go either to here or it can go to my laptop, and it's connected to the printer. I can literally slide this out and have my laptop right there, just in case there's something on my laptop that I need to get to. Then I have some little storage things here. I mean, it's just a craft, I'm sorry, it's just a workspace for me that works. I made a little, what is this, like a little bulletin board with from an iron board. And then down here I have a carousel that have a lot of tools that I don't want out for the kids. Like there's a lot of X-Acto knives and so forth, and this pretty much spins, so anything that I need I can get it. Oh, I'm knocking things down for the most part. And then here is where I have envelopes, and then I have extra ink and so forth. One day I'll do a tour, but goodness, I tell you what, I really don't like the whole opening drawers and stuff. It's just so time consuming. But I guess, you know, if I'm going to show you, I should show you, right? So this is where we keep the paper, and that's just a basket of paper. So overall, and that's the printer down there. Overall, this is what it looks like. It closes very nicely, has everything that I need, and I also have some candy there too, because I always like Jolly Ranchers and stuff, and it works for me. And then when I'm done, cut the computer off, close it up, and that's my workspace for the most part, where I process orders and so forth. But this is not what the problem is. The problem is my sewing desk. So if I scan around, I have my little paint station now, because this was a new space, because I had kind of lost my space, and I see my trying to get a good focus here. And then that's where some of my crafts were also stored, because I lost some space. And then over there it goes right back into the classroom, where the classroom part of the Sewed and Short workshops, you see the dress forms. And then here's my desk. This is my desk, my workspace, my sewing machine, and yeah, not good at all. I have my lamps, and yeah. Now here's what happened here. Here's what happened. Last weekend was Easter weekend, and I didn't have any workshops, and I also had to downsize my room. So in the midst of us pulling out and still putting things away, because we didn't pull everything out, we actually pulled stuff out, knew where we were going to put it. I reorganized, I donated a lot of stuff. I don't really know how this happened with my desk, but to be quite frank, my desk is always looking like some kind of a hot mess if I don't have a workshop or I don't have a customer coming over. I don't know what happens in my mind that everything else have to remain clean, but something happens in my mind with my desk. I just kind of let it go, and it looks like this. And I have everything that don't belong here on my desk, including this red spray. Everything has a home here. Everything has a home in my office, so in my studio. So there's no reason for this. So I challenged my embroidery boss members to show off their work desk, and here is my actual work desk, not where I process orders, because that's always clean for the most part. But this needs to be clean. So the challenge for this weekend is to get this done. So if we look at this from a different angle, this is actually a dresser that is at the end of the desk, and this is where I keep my cartridges for my Sizzix and my Big Kicks and embellishments and so forth. And then I have some paint there, because when I moved things, I realized that I missed a lot of spots, probably in a rush as always, and I need to touch up. So this is how this always looks. But if we stand here and we look how it just kind of bleeds over into my desk, it's just, I don't understand what happens in my mind. And if we go around, I have a one chair here, because this chair can slide from my sewing sewing table to my workspace very easily. So I love having one chair here. And even if I have my assistant here, she's over at the workspace, I have a stool that is actually by my embroidery machine that slides out. So when I'm embroidering, sometimes I sit at the embroidery machine, or I can sit over here if I need to sew something. So yeah, I'm just in here looking at, I don't even remember putting this stuff up here, but this is how it happens. I need to clear it off. And once again, this also happened because I have all these little new areas. Like, this wasn't here before. If you look at some of my other videos, you won't see this because this was not here before. And this is another rather, embellishment station. I have one on the other side of the room, but I needed to make another one because I lost my craft room. And for the most part, this is how this is going to be, because when I pull little stuff like this out, I usually will put it back. It's the desk that I seem to be having a problem with. So I am going to clean my desk, and I guess when I come back it will be done, and I can post pictures to my embroidery boss group and show off how now I have a clean, clear, organized workspace as well. So I got it done. I cleared all that stuff off of my desk. Threw a lot of it in the garbage, as a matter of fact. And now I could have some clarity in my life. And for the most part, I always encourage my students to clean up their workspaces. And I don't want to be a hypocrite. I have 2 students coming by for a workshop in a little while. And even though the studio is presentable, my desk goes against everything that I tell them, that when you prepare for a project, you want to make sure that you have a clean workspace, and when you are done with your project, you want to make sure that you leave a clean workspace. So there's no reason for my sewing desk to look the way it did for the most part. And even though I won't be sewing today, if something came up, I saw a project or on YouTube or something that I wanted to do, I could easily just sit here. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for participating in this challenge and allowing me to participate in this challenge without calling me a hypocrite. For the most part, I don't want to say one thing and then do another. I want to practice what I preach. So that's all for today. We have more challenges to come. Those of you who are members of the Embroidery Boss group there on here on Facebook, we have more challenges coming, just to make sure that we are on the right track, operating our businesses effectively. We are organized, we are focused, and we are doing whatever we can to make sure that we are an improved embroidery boss. Thank you so much for joining in, and I'll see you next time.